Am I the asshole for reporting a delivery driver who I thought was lying to get out of doing more work? So, today for lunch, I decided to order from a Mexican restaurant through one of those food delivery services. I've had a bad experience or two where my order was missing some items, but the drivers would always be gone before I realized and could catch them to fix the issue.
Wait, you could just get your refund through those apps.
I'd always have to report it through the app's support chat, which is usually a pain because they obviously outsource their representatives, and it's frustrating trying to communicate with them. I usually give up after a few messages back and forth. When my driver arrived, I told her to stay so that I could check the bag and make sure everything was there.
Not my fucking job.
I noticed she kind of raised her eyebrows for a moment, but otherwise she stood quietly and waited. Sure enough, a couple things were missing. I politely said she needed to return to the restaurant and get my missing items. In a very neutral, rehearsed sounding tone, she said that it's against company policy to do that and I should contact support through the app. I explained that I prefer not to deal with support. She said they're the only ones who can help and she's really not supposed to go back to the restaurant. I was a bit annoyed at this point, so I asked what the company policy was on making sure orders were correct. She said that the restaurants close the bag for the drivers and they're not meant to open them or the containers inside. Something about food safety violations and not being trained? After a moment, she apologized for the trouble and left. To me, this honestly just sounds like a bunch of BS excuses to get out of doing her whole job. If they can't go back to the restaurant, how are customers supposed to get their food/money back? If they can't open the bag to check the orders, how do they even know they're delivering the right food? It makes no sense to me. So on the page where I rate my driver and can leave feedback, I made a note of my situation and explained why I thought she was in the wrong. I then left a 1-star and revoked my tip. A bit later, I was talking to my sister over the phone, who I thought would actually enjoy the story because she works for a different but similar delivery company. My sister said, "Did you actually think she was going to go back to the restaurant?" I laughed thinking she was taking a dig at the competing company drivers, but she just said, "I'm not joking. You literally reported her for following the rules." At first, I thought my sister had misunderstood a part of the story or something, so I kind of brushed it off. But now, based on her reaction and what both her and the driver said, I'm wondering if they're right. So am I the asshole for reporting her and taking my tip back because I thought she was lying?
Yes, you fucking suck. In what world are they going to go back to the restaurant? At that point, if you've gotten slighted multiple times on the goddamn app, stop using the app. Just go and pick up your own goddamn food.